Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I loud? Am I clear? Is anybody out there? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live in just 9 minutes and 35 seconds, breaking down all the gold and silver news, helping you read the tea leaves. We're going to watch the COMEX day trading session start up. We're going to watch the Shanghai Futures Exchange open up. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Ron from Ron's Basement on the stream live. We're going to have a fun time answering all your questions. If you're ready, put I'm ready in chat right now. If you're pumped, smash that like button. Only 55 more to 100. We're going to be live here in 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Grab yourself some Mrs. International Stacker coffee. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live in just 7 minutes and 55 seconds, breaking down all the gold and silver news. We're going to be covering the COMEX day trading session, watching the Shanghai Future Exchange open up. I will have Ron from Ron's Basement on the stream as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live in just 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Smash that like button.
From Arctic ice to island drums, every stamp on my page, another driving away. Silver stackers, answer the call.
Let's go, let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to be live in just 5 minutes and 25 seconds here, covering the breaking gold and silver news, helping you read the tea leaves. We're going to watch the day trading session for the COMEX. We're going to watch the Shanghai Futures Exchange open up. I'm going to have Ron on from Ron's Basement as well. That's going to be super sick. We're going to be answering your questions and breaking it live in just 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Smash a like button if you're ready. We've only got 38 more till 100. Grab a beverage. Sit back. It's time to chase that mill. M-I-L-L. It's not milk. It's not milk. It's mill.
International stacker, here to say, shining fire. treasure hunting, one of a kind. Join the crew, let's explore, stack up wealth and so much more.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live in just 4 minutes and 10 seconds, breaking down the silver and gold news, helping you read the tea leaves. It is going to be a blast this morning. Smash the like button if you're ready. Only 28 more to 100. 4 minutes.
Maps and clues, giveaways tonight. Silver dream shining bright. Roll the dice, take a chance. Treasure calls, we're in a dance. Silver shines, gold's the glow. Stack it high, watch it grow. Giveaways for all, feel the thrill. International, stack 'em that bill. So if you're so, join the quest. Riches await. You're the best international stacker. Stacking strong, silver, gold, where you belong.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be live in just 3 minutes and 10 seconds, breaking it down. The gold and silver news, helping you read the tea leaves. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to watch Shanghai open up. We're going to watch the day trading session for the COMEX. It's about to go down. 3 minutes. 20 more likes to 100. Let's do it. If you're on X, please go like and retweet my post about the stream. I appreciate it.
Stacking strong, silver, gold, where you belong. Chasing that mill. Chasing that mill. Crabs are grooving side to side. Ocean waves where dreams collide. Claws are up, the bee we chase. Treasure gleaming, golden space. Get your claws.
All right, let's get this popping right now, guys. Keith Peavy House says, you're the only one who can get me to wake up at 4:45. Glad to have you, Keith Peavy House. Let's get a crab dance going. If you're ready, drop a crab in chat right now. C-R-A-B, not a C-R-A-P. I better not see any poop emojis. Let's get it. 1 minute, 40 seconds here. Who's ready? 9 likes from 100. Let's pump it up. Make a god. Who likes free silver and gold? Put free in chat right now if you like it.
Music's played.
Yes. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to be live in just 1 minute covering the breaking gold and silver news. Buckle up. 1 minute warning. Do you guys want the crab migration? Do you want the old school intro? Do you want the little kid intro? Do you want a medley? Let me know right now in chat. You got 50 seconds. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
In the sky, international stacker. He's our guide.
Let's go.
And silver is the key.
Yes. Thank you for the jewels barcode, droid. Let's go. Let's get it. All right, we're going to do a medley here. We're going to do a medley open here. Smash that like button and we'll make it more powerful. Here we go.
Each year, the Stacker Crab makes a pilgrimage to the International Stacker YouTube channel. Here we have a typical Stacker Crab. While typical crabs will eat shells and food of such, these crabs only feast on silver.
To find International Stacker.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? The name's International Stacker, coming to you from Key West, Florida, where I'm closer to Cuba than a Walmart. 69,220 subscribers. Thank you so much. That means we're only 80 subscribers away from the next big show. And some say if you haven't seen a big show, you haven't lived. 2,300 videos around the world on gold and silver adventures. Don't sleep on this content, ladies and gentlemen. We're in Africa. We're in Asia. We're all over Europe, all over the Middle East. And boy, is it going to go down. And look at that in chat. We got Barbara in chat, Crustacean Commander for 5 months saying, claws up, chaps down. No, pull up your chat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're about to jump into it right now, but in about maybe 10-ish minutes, 10, we're going to have Ron from Ron's Basement on. We are going to have a basement dweller live on the channel, so that's about to be a lot of fun. And ladies and gentlemen, think of questions if you're going to have any for him. So here we go. Let me break down the charts, what happened overnight. I'm going to cover a few pieces of news, and then we're going to bring on Ron from Ron's Basement. We're going to talk silver and gold. So smash that like button if you're pumped up. Smash that like button if you're ready. And don't forget, in not the too distant future, I'm going to be giving away. So far, we're up to over 95 ounces of silver in the upcoming Mega Ga. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be much more. We got like 50 ounces of copper. We got gold. All you got to do is sit back, relax, subscribe, and enjoy the party. So silver overnight, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. We had a gap up, and we finally filled the gap overnight. Let's hit it.
Fill that gap, turn the candle green. Close that gap, stack silver with me. We fill that gap, turn the candle green. Close that gap, stack silver with me.
We filled that gap overnight, hitting a high of 57.90, hitting a low of 56.34, and we are on a red candle right now at 57.18. So far, we're kind of consolidating here a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most stable trading we've had in the last day, so we're going to continue to watch this unfold. And remember, COMEX is about to open the day trading session. It's been open since 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night. But today, in just about a minute and a half, it's going to take over in New York. So we're going to see the volume down here dramatically increase. So beware for volatility. And I've got some news, ladies and gentlemen, that some of you may love and some of you may hate. Gold overnight, similar story. We gapped up. We kind of consolidated, moved sideways. We hit a high of 4,019.10. We hit a low of 3,962.20. And those slippery little salamanders got us at 3,981.18. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we filled this gap as well.
Fill that gap, turn the candle green. Close that gap, stack silver with me. We fill that gap, turn the candle green. Close that gap, stack silver with me.
So after the massive attack on silver yesterday, on this trading session, so since 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night, we're only down 0.47%. So the velocity on the attacks has slowed greatly. Same with gold. We're down exactly the same 0.47%, which means that the gold to silver ratio right here is sitting at 69.58. Look at this, guys. We had this major bounce up last night, this very aggressive run up in the gold to silver ratio. We hit a high of 70. We cracked 70, but we're sitting at 69.58 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, right here, the big La Bamba. We're going to be seeing this open together, ladies and gentlemen, in just about an hour at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So at that time, we will come back to this chart. I'll ask you for Team Green or Team Red, but we hit a high last night of, it was right here, 64.62 in Shanghai. We hit a low of 62.37. And we closed on a green candle at 63.34. So we're going to come back to that. I'm going to cover a little bit of breaking news here, and then we're going to have Ron from Ron's Basement on in probably about 5-ish minutes. Let me get through this news and see what we could do here. If you're having a good day, put good day in chat. Please smash the like button. Let's pump it up. We're only about, 58 away from 200. The next 58 people to smash like are going to get good luck for 475 months.
It's science.
And thank you, Raven Rose, for those jewels. Here we go. They can sell an ounce of gold for $20K, but they can't mint a single eagle. U.S. Mint reports zilch silver eagle coins sold since April. Only 380,500 silver eagle coins sold in March. With today's 10% sell-off to 55, we suspect that number is about to change. Come on, U.S. Mint. Come on, stop selling us $1,500 silver and $20,000 gold and make us some American silver eagles. Here's the next piece of big news. Guys, a lot's going on in China. We have to have all eyes on China. There's big stuff coming out of here. I got a few stories here, so buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Silver and gold leaving the West, heading east at shocking levels. This is from Oriental Ghost on the ground in China. Effective immediately, major Chinese banks have comprehensively lowered the entry threshold for the accumulation of gold transactions, extending trading hours, reduced transaction fees to 0.2%, and exempted transactions from taxes to encourage the public participation in the accumulation of gold. What is going on there, ladies and gentlemen? Listen close. Do you hear that sucking sound? That is a giant vacuum cleaner taking silver and gold from the west to the east at shocking levels, and we are sitting back and letting it happen. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a travesty. Next piece of breaking news here. Pray for Venezuela. Look at this. It literally looks like Venezuela got bombed. They didn't. They had a 7.1 and a 7.5 magnitude earthquake. Wow. So this is a dire situation over there. There's obviously been a bunch of political turmoil and upheaval. These buildings are all collapsing. People are in the streets. This is going to turn into, and guys, you know my past is emergency management work. You know my past is responding to stuff like this. This is going to be such a massive humanitarian crisis, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to be pretty. I'm hoping that Venezuela gets help from us and others, because ladies and gentlemen, they're going to need it. So pray for Venezuela. The next piece of news here. Major Chinese banks are restricting retail gold and silver trading, okay? So we just saw an article on how they're trying to get the locals in China to stack more physical gold and silver. But look at this. From Bloomberg, Bloomberg reports that several major Chinese banks are suspending or restricting certain precious metals trading services for retail investors. The move comes as volatility in gold and silver has surged. Why this matters? It appears aimed at reducing speculative retail trading, not physical demand. You get that? They're trying to stop the slippery little salamanders and get people to stack. China remains one of the world's largest buyers, refiners, and consumers of precious metals. Slowing leveraged speculation doesn't mean long-term demand is weakening. It means they're fighting back against manipulators they don't like, because the Chinese manipulate too. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. They're not angels. But ladies and gentlemen, they are fighting back as well against the ones they don't like, so they can protect the ones they do like. Historically, regulators, allegedly, I don't want China to sue me, allegedly. Historically, regulators often step in when markets become unusually volatile. These measures, ladies and gentlemen, can reduce short-term trading activity, but don't automatically change the long-term fundamentals of gold and silver. Here's the article here if you want to go read that. And guys, some Chinese gold is pretty sick stuff. I need to get me some Chinese gold. I got me some Japanese gold right here. This is Electrum gold. Remember, it's a mixture of silver and gold from the Japanese Edo period, like the 1800s. Samurai would put that in swords. Okay, this day in sound money history, ladies and gentlemen. June 25th in 1351, England's Treason Act made counterfeiting the king's money a form of high treason, showing just how seriously governments treated attacks on gold and silver coinage. In 1917, the House debated legislation to modify the new standing Liberty Quarter after concerns the coin didn't stack properly. So literally they were saying it doesn't stack properly, so we can see a bunch of gold and silver stackers were behind this. And look at that, Josh in chat of Crab Cadet for over 4 months. Thank you for the support. Says, keep stacking, folks. Dips won't last forever. And I agree with you so much, Josh. People are going to look back at this dip and be like, what did I do?
I am never going to financially recover from this.
Okay, so this was a debate because these coins would not stack properly, and that the mint's version differed from the sculptor's intended design. The bill passed, paving the way for the revisions to the iconic Standing Liberty Quarter we know today. Here's more on it. Guys, this post takes me so long to do, so please go like it, retweet it. It gets very little traffic on X. You guys love it on here, but it gets very little traffic, so please go support that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, prepare for more volatility today. I put this out at the beginning of the week. These are the weekly watch out situations. And at the beginning of the week, I said, is $50 silver next? I mean, we almost got there. We got to 55.57. Key events that could trigger gold and silver this week. Thursday, that's today, ladies and gentlemen. Today is silver options expiry day. This is a day that's dangerous for gold and silver. We historically will see it get slammed down in the morning, and then they'll let it be in the afternoon, like after 1:30 p.m. So keep your eye on that. Tomorrow we do have silver futures settlement and the commitment of traders report. These are historically some of the most volatile days for silver and gold, big players jockeying for position. Also remember, quarter end institutional balancing. We're going to see probably $150, $160 billion worth of rebalancing from different retirement funds, etc. Remember, they have to own there's an echo. Is there an echo? If there's an echo, let me know right now. I see someone said there's an echo. If there's an echo, put echo. But anyway, they have to have certain percentages. They have to have certain percentages, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking right here. Do I have an echo? I don't think I have an echo. Do I have an echo? There's an echo. Okay, I think I know. Hold up. All right, hopefully it's better now. There's no echo. Okay, we're good. Okay, so anyways, quarter end rebalancing institutional. So remember, funds will have like 10% wheat, 15% bonds, 5% gold, 10% this, that. Well, at the end of the quarter, they have to readjust it because basically they have to stick to those percentages. So we're going to see a lot of stuff get sold off. We're going to see a lot of stuff get bought, and that will create instability in the market and possibly bleed positively or negatively into gold and silver. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cover one more piece of news here, and then I'm going to bring on Ron from Ron's basement in about 2 minutes. So if you're amped to have Ron in, can we chat Ron in chat? Ron. Okay, so here we go. Alert. Why are gold and silver getting hit hard right now, ladies and gentlemen? Several factors are putting short-term pressure on prices. Strong U.S. dollar, that's the DXY. So if we go here to the chart on silver and we go here to the DXY, look at this. Remember, when the DXY goes up, that puts negative bearish pressure on gold and silver. When it goes down, that puts positive bullish pressure on gold and silver. It doesn't mean they always move inversely, but they like to. So we're going to watch the DXY. It is a stronger situation. Why is that? Scott Bessent all week has been talking about Venezuela only being allowed to sell oil in U.S. dollars. Iran in this agreement, they can only sell the restricted oil and other items in dollars. So that is strengthening the dollar. Also, higher for longer rates. Markets have increased expectations that the Fed may keep interest rates elevated or even hike them, which is generally a headwind for precious metals. So the market thinks there's rate hikes coming. I think there's rate cuts. I think Kevin Warsh is going to come up with a new way to measure inflation with his new data task force and all these other ones he's created. And then I think they're going to say, look, inflation's lower. I think they're going to slash rates. And I saw an unconfirmed report this morning that Trump is already calling for interest rate cuts. I don't know if that's true, but I saw it this morning. I'll find out more today. Profit taken after gold and silver strong rally this year. We do have the rebalancing that's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Silver options expiry today can cause short-term volatility. And here's that quarter-end institutional rebalancing. Bankers are also piling in when they smell blood. None of these things change the long-term bull case for gold and silver. Central banks continue to buy gold as people are telling you it's done. Global debt keeps climbing as everyone's telling you it's okay. Fiscal deficits remain massive, and silver remains in a structural supply deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all I can say is buckle up, and I'm going to bring on Ron from Ron's basement here in about 30 seconds. Let me just get this chart fixed. Let me get the song fixed, because I can't bring Ron on to smooth jazz. Okay, this is a good song. I can bring Ron onto this. So let me do this. Hold up. 1 second here. 1 second here. I need to expand this. Ron, can you hear me? You're muted,
yes.
Ron.
I'm not.
Okay, I hear you.
I'm awake. Yes. Hello, International Stacker. Great to see you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen in chat, can you hear Ron? I'm going to turn up his volume a little bit. Let me know if you can hear Ron. So, Ron, we're going to do a quick sound check. But with that sound check, how did you get started in gold and silver? What made you start stacking?
You know, it was probably 1999, which was a long time ago, when there was the big, was it Y2K situation coming up, and I was in the tech field. Everybody was talking about how, you know, it was going to be Armageddon when the year 2000 came around. And that was the first time that I initially heard about gold. Unfortunately, the price of gold was, $300 an ounce then? I didn't buy much at all. but it really started my journey from there into precious metals. And then, like a lot of people, when the great financial crisis hit, that's when I really started to learn about what you were just talking about, the Fed, all that stuff. And that's when I love gold, don't get me wrong, but I really love silver. So it really got kicked off around 2008, 2009.
Man, and I remember those times in 2008. I was a kid, 2001. I was a kid when Y2K was coming in, and I remember like my family, friends, and all that saying, "Jills are gonna open, missiles are gonna launch." I was like a kid, like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" And then we moved into that 2008 great financial crisis, and I would have been out of high school for sure. I was in the middle of college, so I think I was like a junior or a sophomore in college, something like that. So I got to experience those things, but at a different level. Unfortunately, I wasn't stacking back then. I wish I was. But, I started stacking in the Middle East. I used to be into crypto and these different things. I met some contractors out there. I taught them about Bitcoin. He's like, I'm a stacker. So it's cool how external forces can trigger you, can get you introduced. And one thing I remember seeing is I saw a long time ago a video on YouTube randomly pop up in my feed, and the guy's like, "Guys, I'm gonna quit stacking, blah blah blah." He had a table with all these bars and coins, and he's like, "Just kidding, I'm never gonna stop stacking." So that was like my first intro into it. So my question for you, when you started to get into it, did you see any YouTube videos that like were kind of the gateway drug? Did anything like alert you besides just like word of mouth or seeing commercials and things like this?
I think there's a guy named Chris Marcus who I'm friends with, Arcadia Economics, and this was back. And if I've never really thought about it, but when I look back maybe 10, 15 years when YouTube was really starting to take off, Chris was one of the early pioneers in the on the YouTube side, and I think watching some of his videos, some of his interviews really started to turn the light bulbs on, because I think that's what it is, right? I mean, you talked about your experience in the Middle East. For me, it was more after the great financial crisis, where like you realize, like, wow, do I want to hold a big pile of these, or do I want to have a big stack, right, of this stuff? You've got a ton of it on your screen. And every time I got to a point where I would have some money saved up, and this was 10, 15 years ago, and I would think about the prospect, because we're always thinking about the future, right? I mean, we were going to follow the silver price today, and hopefully you and I, the price is going to go green here, International Stacker, while we're live. But when I think about we're magic, that's all we got to do is go live. But when I think about the future, it's like, do I want to hold on to a bunch of cash, or would I rather have silver? And luckily for me, 15 years ago, silver was the answer. I feel that same way even right now, and in a lot of ways, I feel even stronger about it.
Yeah, I definitely feel stronger about it. I'm looking on your YouTube, and I've got it set to your oldest videos, and boy, has your set changed since you started YouTubing. And this is something I like doing. Going back and looking at some of my old videos. So it seems like you've had your YouTube for maybe 7 or 8 years, and you said you've been stacking for about 15. So what made you decide to make your own YouTube?
I was always fascinated with what you're doing a great job. And by the way, before I forget, thank you for having me on. You've got an incredible channel, and you also have an incredible community, the Crustacean Nation. If I have that correct, can I call myself part of the Crustacean Nation this morning?
Make some crab claws and you're in. Make some crab claws and you're in. There, you're in.
There you go. All right. The only thing I like better than those crab claws is when there's silver inside of them. You're asking about YouTube. So I'm 56 years old, and I've got twin daughters who are 14. I kind of retired young. I do have a little job I do at night, but when my daughters were born, I worked a little job, and I spent a ton of time with my kids, which I will never, best thing I ever did in my life. But as they got older, I had a lot more time on my hands. And about the time I'd had YouTube, I was fascinated with YouTube.
Susie's like, Ron, get in the basement.
Get in the basement. Yeah, right. She locked me. She put me down here and locked the door and said, "Don't come out until you find a way to build a business or do something." But no, seriously. Like I was like 50 years old, 50-ish years old, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I loved YouTube. I love this idea that you and I right now, we've got people from all over the world who are all interested in the same thing. And that with this technology that we could connect with all these people and talk about what we like and give people value, right? Build community. It just, look, again, I'm 56 years old. When I was graduated college in 1992, us doing what we're doing right now was like science fiction. I graduated with a degree in accounting and went to work for a Big Four accounting firm. And, if you told me in 1993 that I'd be in my basement with a guy who's halfway across the country and being part of Crustacean Nation, right? And that we would be connecting and building something and talking about what we love, I would have thought it was crazy. So anyway, back to answer your question, I was 52. I thought either I'm going to sit on the couch for the rest of my life or I'm going to get out and do something. I learned I know we're going to talk about silver, but I learned what for me was a very late in life, very important lesson. And that was that I needed to, like, if I wanted to build something, that I needed to work on it, to learn about it, and to do it like every single day. So I said for a year, I would make a YouTube video, one video a day for a year. And that when it got to be hard, which it does, trust me, guys, what International Stacker does with these live streams is actually, I can tell you love it. That shines through, but it's also hard work. But that if I stuck with it, that it could, and then it just blossomed into what it is. So, I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky to be here. I feel very lucky that we are living in a period of time where we can do this, right? Everybody out there who's watching, they're all over the world. So sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a big tangent.
No, it's good. And building on what
you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was saying, building on what you said, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the chat, where are you at in the world? Where are you watching from? Put the country. If you're in the U.S., put the state. If you're in Canada, put the province. Shout out to Silver Squirt real quick for that super chat. Also, shout out to Oli Stacker, Diamond Claw member for 5 months, saying, Ron is mega. Thanks for joining the Crustacean Nation. And Ron, I've got a couple more questions. There you go, the crab claws. I got a couple questions for you, but I did get a couple questions before the show from some of our viewers. So I got a question from Littlefoot Silver Stacker, who, by the way, found the very first hidden hoard, winning the 5 ounces of silver and copper in Dahlonega, Georgia. And he asked on YouTube, does Ron have any thoughts on platinum, palladium, and rhodium? I'm curious if he thinks stackers should have some type of exposure to them. Are you a purist on gold and silver, or do you dabble in other metals at all?
Yeah, so I am, from a stacking perspective, I am pretty much a silver purist. Okay, I own a lot of gold mining stocks. That's another area that I have a big interest in. Honestly, I do not own any platinum, but I know the thesis behind platinum in particular. It's funny because I looked at it last night and saw the price. I think it's down to like 1,400, 1,300 if I remember correctly. And I know there's a very strong, thesis behind platinum. I will say this: one of the smartest guys I know, is named Sean. He's one of my best friends, one of the richest guys I know. He really loves platinum. So I think there's a very good thesis behind platinum, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out here in the next 10 years. I think whether you're talking about platinum, silver, gold, even nickel, any metal, I think, real metal, right? Because there's a limited amount on the planet and there's a scramble for resources and metal. You know, obviously gold and silver have the monetary component to them as well, that any of these metals are going to do very, very well. But I do know, and there are some people who are just absolutely very enthusiastic about the future of platinum in particular.
Yeah, I've heard it too, and I don't dabble as well. I'm a purist on mostly silver. I do have gold, but mostly silver. Just the industrial use case. I believe in it so strong. The fundamentals are so strong that every extra dollar I have, I want to put into it. Platinum, palladium. And here's my viewpoint on platinum and palladium, which is not popular. I do get whipped with a wet noodle from time to time for saying this. But think about it. I'm going to mix these up, but one of them, their industrial demand, 45% is catalytic converters. The other one, it's like palladium, I think, is like 70% catalytic converters. Whether you like it or not, more and more people are getting electric vehicles, especially with like the Strait of Hormuz closure, gas prices, people freaking out. I think the trend is going to be more important people getting electric vehicles. They want to be taken automatically to work and be able to watch YouTube or whatever. So I'm not saying that should be or I believe in it. I just believe that that is coming. So to invest in something long-term like that has that much industrial demand tied to combustion engines, I think is dangerous. Now, short term, I think there's money to be made. But for me, the bull case for silver and by extension gold is just so strong. I put all my extra stuff into that. And I've got a couple things here in chat. First off, I want to say thank you to FAA for the jewels. Also, too, Rich Mitch in chat, he's a member. Crustacean Commander says a 16.7 swing from the top to the bottom between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. yesterday is absolutely mental. The very definition of volatility. I need money to buy more now. Are you buying the dip, Ron? I'm buying the dip as hard as I can. Are you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was active in the market yesterday, and, maybe I'm a little bit early, maybe we're a little bit early, but I even saw the guy North Star Charts, who I want to give him credit. He took a lot of heat over the last 3 to 6 months on the X platform because he had kind of predicted that we were going to have this pullback. But even yesterday, he said, like, if you're a long-term investor, which I am, right, when it comes to silver, gold, precious metal, I look at it as like generational. Like he said, the all clear is in. And, I've been following these markets for, 15, 20 years very closely. And to me, it feels like right now, I'm very optimistic that we're near a bottom and that things can get much better from here.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, in the future, being long term, I think any price under $100, I'm going to be happy with.
Yeah.
I think at that point, it's like whether I bought more at 70 or 65 isn't going to be that big of a deal. And I got another question that came in on X for you from Toning Phoenix saying, "Have you tried a cup of Mrs. International Stacker coffee? It's right here, brewed from Mrs. IR's secret blend, passed down through generations of crustaceans. Have you tried this, Ron?"
No, I have not. I honestly did not know it existed, so I need to get my hands on that. That is awesome. and I'm a huge coffee drinker. I live on coffee, so I'll have to give that a shot.
And there's unconfirmed reports from scientists that it can increase the density of your shell by 80% and make your claws sharper if you're a crustacean, which you are. And guys, he lives not far from where I'm going to be in Springfield, Illinois. He might have something else he has to do, but if we can make it work, maybe I'll hand deliver you a bag of Mrs. International Stacker coffee.
Yeah, we even if we meet halfway, if our schedules are tight, that would be I would love to have some Mrs. International Stacker coffee, and I would share it during my live streams as well. That's cool.
We could just pass each other on the road. You roll your window down, and we'll drive past each other. I will throw it into your window.
No, I have a better idea. Since I'm going to find that 5-ounce bar you hide in Springfield, you can just leave it with the bar of silver.
Oh, there you go, guys. If you're coming to the Hidden Horde, just go to my website, internationalstacker.com. Click Hidden Horde, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, the next stops are going to be the Summer Fun Coin Show in Orlando, Florida, July 11th. I'm going to have a subscriber meet and greet and the Hidden Horde. Springfield, Illinois, July 18th. I'm going to have a meet and greet and the Hidden Horde. And then the A&A Coin Show at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, August 27th. Inside the show, we're going to have a meet and greet and the Hidden Horde. Free silver. I know your viewers love free silver and gold, don't they?
Oh yeah, they love it. Yep. And for all the basement dwellers who are here, welcome to Crustacean Nation.
Woo! Welcome. Now, this price action, again, I think we both hit on it. We're both very long-term stackers, so to me, this is just noise. I always say, when in doubt, just zoom out on the chart, when in doubt, check the price of silver 1 year ago. So I'm pretty unfazed by this. I call it on the channel intestinal fortitude. But, for a bunch of new folks that got in, this could be scary. People that got in at the start of 2026 or even the end of 2025. Are you seeing a lot of people upset, or are you seeing a lot of people taking this as an opportunity to lower that dollar cost average? Because personally, I think this is a gift that's been given to us by JP Morgan Chase and all these other banksters and slippery little salamanders out there.
Yeah, I think most of the people who are upset about it have maybe left the stacking community temporarily. I think that like the people that are here today, right, all the people that are joining us on this live stream right now understand
Over 700. We're over 700
Over
right now from around the world.
Oh yeah, around all over the world. Excuse me. Let's get that to 1,000. But they understand, right? They get it. And being in the silver market, in particular silver, but gold obviously has been volatile as well. You get used to it after a while. And it's funny you ask that because I see these reports like silver's lost half of its price since the January whatever it was 28th, 27th high. And do I like it? No, I don't like it. Of course, I like when the price is green. But I actually feel like strong. I feel better about silver now than I probably even did 1 year ago. So,
Me too.
Excuse me.
Me too. And 1 year ago, it was $35.90 today. 1 year ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? And I've heard a lot of people say this, like silver investors, and I think it's true in a lot of markets, like when silver's on sale, like it's half the price right now that it was 5 months ago. Some people will shy, like there were a lot more people buying silver when it was at $100 or $110 per ounce. And now that it's half the price, like retail demand goes down. So when the thing is, International Stacker, I believe, and I think the data shows this, that sentiment is really bad in the precious metal sector right now. Mm-hmm. But like you just said, right? Like a year ago, we had $35 silver. Today, we have $60 silver. So if we can do this in a market where we've got really bad sentiment, sentiment goes in cycles. Think about what happens when the sentiment starts to go back up. And we've got a big runway for improvement when it comes to sentiment. So if we can build this base, I was hoping it would be more around $72 per ounce. Even if we build the base at $60 per ounce, it gives us an incredible platform when we look out a year, 5 years, 10 years. I mean, when you and I are doing live streams together 5 years from now, I think the silver price is going to be way over $100 per ounce. I wouldn't be surprised. Look, nobody has a crystal ball, and I can't say this for certain, but I think, I hopefully will be around long enough to see silver prices that almost seem unbelievable right now. Yeah. Because think about it, and then I'll shut up for a second. But $60 silver. I remember when silver was $12 an ounce, and when people talked about silver ever getting above 50 again, it seemed like a pipe dream, right?
They called you a conspiracy theorist back then if you said silver will break 50.
Yeah, right. So, and when you look at like the comparisons of the silver price to the S&P 500 over long periods of time, we could go to prices that really truly would just seem like they're shot. I won't even say the numbers because people, I don't think people in your audience, because we know, but people in the general investing community say, oh, you're a silver pumper, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm part of the crustacean nation, baby. Yeah. Right?
No, I love it. And a big thank you to Sand and for putting the jewels in chat. No, I totally agree with you. And I think we're going to maybe 5 years from now look back and be like, man, remember when people were stressed out from the price swing from, where were we at? Like 75 to 50. And I think to us, it's going to seem like small numbers. I'm still pretty steadfast. I think my target for the year is 152. I do think that's incredibly possible. And another thing that people don't realize, if you haven't been stacking for that long, usually April, May, June are like June gloom for gold and silver. Usually, historically, they are pretty flat and even downtrend during these months. And in July, we start to see it pick back up. And we've had unprecedented things happen and pick back up. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a giant green candle forming. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the danger zone. I'm going to set off an alert. 1 second. 1 second. That is the danger zone alert, ladies and gentlemen. We are in we just exited the danger zone to an immediate BGC big green candle. We are spiking up here to 57.66, and where our next target here is 50. Okay, we're just up to 57. Okay, we just broke $58 an ounce, Ron. It is a giant green candle. If I was walking around with this thing in West Hollywood, I would be arrested. Wow, look at this Becky, look at that bar. We just spiked up to $58.07. What do you got there? Wow. That's awesome. And can you do me a favor? People said your audio just dropped, but I can actually hear you. People are saying in chat, so let me turn you off and on real quick. 1 second, turn you off. I'm turning you on. You should be okay. Give me a quick sound check. Can you hear him now? Say I can hear him now if you can hear him now. And then I'm going to talk about something while we see the response here. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Ron from Ron's Basement in chat. That was the silver bear he had there. And that mask finally came off when it hit $85 an ounce. And it's the weirdest thing. They're saying they can't hear you. They're saying they can't hear you, but you just cut out for some reason. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, and you're green here. Yeah, leave and come back. Leave and come back. He'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to watch this chart here. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? He's going to leave and come back, but can you hear me? As silver is sitting at $57.64. Whoa. Absolutely insane here. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. He's going to leave and come back. That's the strangest thing. I could hear him on my side, but you guys... So he's going to leave and come back. Okay. Let's go here to see what you guys are saying on X, formerly known as Twitter. Okay, I think he's here. Okay. Show on stream. Can you hear me, Ron?
I can hear you great, and on my end, the audio says it's working.
Okay. Guys, can you hear Ron now? Say we can hear him now, and we'll see how they answer.
I don't know what to say. Buy silver.
You can hear you. They can hear you.
All right.
Woo! Guys, unfortunately, when he cut out, he just gave you guys the code word on how to claim 1,000-ounce silver bar, and he's not going to repeat it. So unfortunately, if you didn't hear it, sorry, you guys can't. But you were just telling us about your silver bear. You had him up there for years. You had a blindfold on him, and you weren't going to take it off to 85, and people thought you were insane. And what did they say when that blindfold came off?
Yeah, people, well, then the silver price, obviously shot up to 120. We had that mania phase. I think it was a period. I mean, like Keith Neumeyer from First Majestic, silver, was said triple digit silver. I think really at that point there was so much enthusiasm. People were super excited, and I think were and I think again those of us who are still around are still very excited about the future for the silver price. I think one thing that silver stackers learn, like you said earlier, right? People say you're a conspiracy theorist, all this crazy, whatever. Is that we look at the facts objectively, like we know how to work a calculator and do basic math. We can look at the national debt, all that. And we look at history, right? International stacker, right? I mean, that's, you said this earlier, but it's so true, right? We've got people, everybody out there, think about where you are in the world, right? Like silver and gold are worldwide, right? But also we have history on our side, these thousands of years. I mean, look,
thousands.
I was thinking about this last night. If you, I'll make this about you. This is your show, International Stacker. You have a great grandpa who maybe lived 300 years ago. if he was out in the field working on his garden and he dropped dead, right, and he had his overalls on and happened to have a 1 ounce silver coin in his pocket of his overalls, and today, right, you're clearing out some family heirlooms, whatever, you find those overalls and you find that 1 ounce silver coin that was in his pocket 250 years ago, it's got the same value today that it did back then, right? If he'd had if it was, let's say a paper dollar instead in his pocket, well, which back then would have probably bought groceries for a week, right? That paper dollar, we know what we can buy today with it. So anyway, sorry, I can go off on tangents. You can reel me in whenever you like.
No, you just keep going. And you made me think about this, I believe a major currency change is coming for the U.S., but I don't think it's going to be, it collapses, there's fire, everyone's screaming, there's zombies, and we're hoarding silver and trading silver dimes for low. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think that. I think what's going to happen, like in 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard, just said, I'm temporarily doing this. I think what it's going to be is they're going to usher in a digital currency, but every American is going to get a free U.S. dollar wallet. Everyone's going to get like a $250 stimmy in it, so everyone's going to be happy. I got my dollar coins. Right. And ladies and gentlemen, it's safe because you can't get robbed. No one's going to rob you anymore because it's in there. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be able to fight terrorism with this. But I think eventually, whether it's this administration, the next administration, the administration after that, whether the Republican, Democrat, I don't care. I keep the channel apolitical. But eventually, somebody's going to seize that and use it for max tracking. Like when you're buying and selling at a garage sale and you get taxed on it, that's going to stink. So I think the next, the way they redo our currency and revalue it is they're going to shift it for our convenience and safety to a digital currency. Am I crazy? Yeah. Do you think I'm on or off base there?
No, I mean, everything's going digital, right? Like we used to get, I'm old enough to remember when you would get letters in the mail, right? And now we have email and we don't think twice about it. We pay as much attention to our emails, probably more attention than we do than what comes in our mailboxes. So yeah, absolutely, digital's the future. But they're going to continue. I didn't want to interrupt you. I believe they will continue though to steal from the general public with inflation. They will whatever it is. It's inflation is going, that has been and will continue to be kind of their modus operandi to steal from the average people.
And someone just posted in chat, I'm double checking it. Core inflation hits 3.4% in May. And ladies and gentlemen, I call inflation the hidden tax, the evil hidden tax. Yeah. And literally the Federal Reserve, that's not federal and not a reserve. If you go to their website, their goal is 2% inflation, and that continually compounds. 3.4% is what they're telling us publicly. Hey, Ron, have you ever looked at shadow stats? Like, do you think, I think inflation's actually much higher than they're actually telling us?
Yeah, inflation absolutely is much higher than what they're telling us, right? If you have to pay homeowners insurance, if you have to fill your car up with gas, if you have to buy food, right? We all know, food's incredibly more expensive. Yes. Short answer to your question, inflation. And I believe, and I feel like, I think things have gotten really simple for stackers anymore. I think if people want to keep it just real simple, all we have to do is watch inflation, because inflation is what is always has, but in particular over the next year, 10 years, inflation is what's going to drive the bus. And at the end of the day, right, that is going to be massively positive for people that own physical silver and gold. No doubt in my mind.
And have you heard the murmurs? I've been staying pretty much up on Warsh, and I streamed his not inauguration, his swearing in. I streamed his Senate confirmation hearing. And recently, I think there was some hubbub about him saying that the new target for inflation might be like not 2%, like maybe 2.9%. Have you heard about that?
No, I didn't hear about that. I think, I think that him, his first Fed meeting, which was last Wednesday, when they came out with their monetary policy decision. I think that he, and I was wrong, right? I think like a good number of people, I was a little bit surprised at how hawkish he was. And if you look at what's happened to the gold and silver price since his first announcement and then press conference afterwards, the price got clobbered. But if you look back and think about it, it makes sense what he did, right? His first meet, he came out with this bravado and, we're going to fight. I mean, he almost had to do that. I mean, in hindsight, it seems obvious. But what's so important is to watch what he does. And it doesn't surprise me, right, that they're saying, yeah, I mean, inflation it's we could talk for hours about it, but it's like it's a mathematical certainty that, you know, whether you want to call it devaluation of the dollar or higher inflation, that it's coming, right? And like you said, the Fed, their mandate is to steal 2% from the people. They have a 2% inflation mandate. So the only way they can deal with the national debt at this point, to pay that money back, right, is to pay it back with dollars that are worth less or worthless. Inflated away.
They got inflated away or get GDP, like the massive growth. Like, that's the only way. And here's the thing. He's got a whole board of people he needs to win over. People forget the Federal Reserve Chairman can't just go, I'm lowering rates. Like, he's got to win over enough people on the board to vote his way. So I think he's playing the game. I do believe he wouldn't have been put in that position if he wasn't going to cut rates. He's got multiple task forces he announced. One of them is a data task force. I think his goal is to reevaluate how inflation's measured, and that's not new. That's done many times in our history. But let's just measure it a different way. I think he wants to reevaluate how we measure inflation, show that the new way it's actually lower, and then pressure people on the court on the committee because of that to cut rates. So I believe rate cuts are coming. I do not buy into the general consensus of the big bankers saying he's going to be hawkish and raise rates. I think people are pushing that right now to manipulate the markets and make some extra money on the side. But I think ultimately we're going to be cutting rates or staying the same. I would be actually shocked if he went along with raising rates.
Yeah, and you hit on a very important point, right? Donald Trump put him in there, and we know how Donald Trump feels about interest rates. We also know, and this is not a political statement, I'm like you, I'm not a political channel at all, but we also know Donald Trump's history over decades of what he's done with debt. Right? The guy loves debt, and he's talked about wanting a lower dollar. The other thing that we need to remember about the Fed, right, is why would we trust the Fed? Has the Fed proven themselves trustworthy since 1913 when they were created? I think most people, and your viewers can judge for themselves, but most people would agree that the Fed doesn't always do what they say they're going to do, right? They say one thing. I always say this: don't listen to what these central bankers say. Watch what they do, right? One of which is most central banks around the world are buying a lot of gold. And then, can I talk about interest rates? And I won't go on, but to make this very quick. So everybody's so focused on interest rates and the Fed cutting interest rates, But again, what's more important is the inflation rate, right? Like, if the interest rate's here, International Stacker, that's the interest rate, and this is the inflation rate. Everybody wants the rates to get cut, right? Because it creates that gap, that gap between where the inflation rate is and where the interest rate is. You could argue that we've already had an interest rate cut, because over the last 3 months, right, even though interest rates stayed the same, inflation went up. So that gap got created by inflation. Inflation drives the bus. Even if the Fed does raise rates by 0.5%, let's say, by the end of the year, if inflation goes up even more, that gap, and that's the real interest rate gap, goes up even further. And that's what drives the price of precious metals. Most people don't get that, right? Most people, I think a lot of your audience does, and a lot of my audience does, but the general investing public is like, if the Fed raises rates, that's bad. And that's the other good thing, and then I'll shut up, is that I think the market right now has probably already priced in the Fed raising rates. And that, you know what I mean? Like, we've already taken the pain. Yeah, we've already taken the pain. we can attest that. Sorry, I'll go ahead. I'll again.
No, I'm with you. I agree with everything you said, and that is the key thing. We've taken the pain. So even if rates raise, we should be okay. Yeah. And if the rate cut happens, it's going to be a magnified, pretty aggressive, some might say violent move.
Yeah, if inflation continues to go up, which it will, right, and they cut rates, I mean, that makes that gap even bigger. The other exciting thing to consider about that is that the Fed can only raise rates a little bit because of the national debt, right? We can't afford higher interest rates, but inflation there's no limit on inflation, unfortunately, right? So the future looks bright for silver and gold. I'll shut up about the macro stuff, International Stacker.
Well, no, I like that stuff. And look at it this way, like our survival as a country is kind of on the line here. Like we have to refinance. I forget what is it, and then this year, like 18 trillion or 9 trillion, something.
Like
we
9.
gotta
I think
refinance.
I've heard 8 trillion. I've heard 10. Yeah, you're
trillion.
right. Yep.
So we got to refinance 8 trillion this year. And every percentage up, every quarter of a percent, whatever, it is catastrophic for us, right? Yeah. So I think that's one reason why the president's so aggressive on that. I got 2 things in chat. First off, Soup John. By the way, are you familiar with No Soup for John meme on the channel?
No, I'm not. Does that come from Seinfeld? Is that the Seinfeld thing?
We played off that. We did with the soup guy. I can't say that word on. I'll definitely get banned for saying that word. The soup guy on there, yeah. Soup John is asking. So when people gift memberships on the channel, we call it soup. And hungry crustaceans hold their bowl in the sky to catch a gifted membership. So he had no soup for 28 days, and finally he got a gifted membership. But he said, inflation sucks, yes, but I'd rather endure it in the United States than anywhere else. I agree with that sentiment. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, it's a great country, right? Is it a perfect country? No, but we are lucky to have the freedoms that we have here and the opportunities that we have here. And somebody like me who was born in 1970, I've been spoiled, right? With just opportunity.
Yeah, you bought your house for like 7 raspberries, right?
I bought this house for the equivalent of, I don't know, what would it be? 1,000 ounces of silver? I'm not sure, but yeah, exactly.
Hey, someone else in chat, Crispy Bacon, his name used to be Crispy Bacon Junior Cheeseburger, but now it's just Crispy Bake, is asking, do you think the gold to silver ratio will go much higher? I was thinking about trading gold for silver. Local dealer basically does 1-for-1 trades. So he's thinking about trading gold for silver. So do you think that this is a good time for him to trade on this dip? Do you think it's going to go much higher? Or do you think it's going to go lower?
That's a great question, and I don't know. I think the gold to silver ratio, I haven't been following as close as around 60.
It is. I'll tell you right now. The gold to silver ratio is 69.18 to 1. It kissed 79 last night, and just a couple days ago, it was like in the 50s.
Yeah, not financial advice, but yes, I would think that even a 70 to 1 gold to silver ratio is very attractive. I mean, I'm sure International Stacker, you and your viewers have seen like the long-term charts of the gold. I mean, we are historically at very high levels, and then when you factor in, I mean, that's one thing I love about silver. To me, I call BS on any of those people out there that say silver is no longer a monetary metal. I believe 100% silver is still absolutely a monetary metal. Silver was, as I understand it, used for money before gold was. But then when you factor in the industrial demand, that whole story, which we could spend hours talking about, I think that I love gold, and gold is the granddaddy, is what I call it, of the precious metals, no doubt about it. But silver is like the grandchild that has a lot of potential. So yeah, I do think this is an attractive time. I mean, that's why I never bought a lot of gold, because I would always, if I had money to buy metals, to me, I always felt like I'm a real tightwad with money. That silver was just a way better value in my mind. Plus, it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with you. Not a financial advisor, just some dude on the internet with crabs. But Crispy Bacon, I think now would be a good time. Could it go higher? Sure. But I believe we're going to see some aggressive moves in silver in not the too distant future. So if I was planning to trade some more gold for silver, close to 71 is much better than the 60s and 50s to 1. So if you're going to do that, I do think it's a good opportunity. 05 Peter in chat's asking, will Shanghai market open today? Yes. The Shanghai Futures Exchange is going to open in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. I will be covering that live here on the channel. I'll put the chart up, so we're not going to miss that. Cheryl Clark is saying, nothing surprises me anymore, especially with the government. And ladies and gentlemen, Keith Peavyhouse just gifted 5 International Stacker memberships. Members, or people, crustaceans, if you're hungry, get out and put those bowls in the sky. It went to Mal Montclair. It went to this guy. It went to Coin It Around. It went to Ellie. and it went to Dasher. Congratulations. Check out your new custom channel member emojis. Going to the next question, and thank you so much, Keith Beebehouse. I would usually play a clip here, but I'm not going to play the clip because I think the last time I played the clip, it muted you somehow. So imagine I'm playing the clip. No soup for Rick. No soup.
Hey, you and I could sing for everybody if you want.
Just say no soup for Rick. Say no soup for Rick. No soup.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh. Hey, can I say one more, and I'll be quick. One more thing about Warsh. I think the other thing for people to remember, like when a magician, if you're at a magic show, like one of the keys to any magic trick that a magician does is to distract people, right? They get you look over here because over here I'm making the move that's going to create the trick. When it comes to looking at interest rates with Kevin Warsh and our new Fed and all this focus that's destroyed the gold and silver price over the last week or 8 days since Warsh came out with all this bravado, to me it's very similar to a magic trick, right? They're like, look over here. Yeah. We're going to be interest rates. That's the distraction. Where over here, what's really going on is the inflation, right? And that's the way they're doing. So that's all. I'm finished. Go ahead.
Now, we got a report in chat from Mattman saying the GDP numbers are up, PCE is steady, consumer spending is up. And then What's a T is also saying, can you ask Ron if there's any, do you have any merchandise for Ron's basement dweller, like T-shirts or anything?
No, not yet, but we'll work on that in the future. Yeah, basement dweller. Yeah, absolutely. Great idea. I like that.
Dude, you should have a shirt that has like Cheeto dust on it. Like it says basement dweller, like Cheeto dust.
Right. I love it.
Okay. Next person. Okay. Soup Jonathan's saying, hi, Ron. No soup John here. So no soup John is saying hi to you, Ron. And a lot of people are saying hi to you. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. No, this is great. I think I told you before this morning, upstairs Susie, and by the way, she's out of town or she would be on here saying hi. This is my wife.
Oh, people were like, we want to hear Susie. Yeah.
I could call her on the cell phone, but she's out of town at a basketball tournament with our daughter. But we've been following your channel. And I think you said it's been about a year that you've been doing these very regular live streams. And I just love what you're doing with the community. I'm not on every stream, but I pop in from time to time, hear what you're saying, and I read through some of your comments. Like, I think it's like community is a very important thing in what you've built, and especially with stackers, because we are literally 1 in 100 people. Luckily, we're spread all throughout the world and there's millions of us, but being able to stick together, and because most people think we're a little bit nuts, right? I mean, I like to use this example. I live in a nice neighborhood here. We've got a little neighborhood pool that everybody goes to during the summer. And if somebody swims up to me that I don't really feel like talking to for too long, I'll start talking about silver and gold, and then they always swim away.
And you know what's really promising? When I was first on YouTube, the biggest YouTube channels had like 20,000 subscribers. Yeah. Now the biggest ones, like Yankee Stacking's like 500,000, Silver Picker's like 1 million, or Silver Dragon's 500,000, Yankees like 200,000-300,000. So like a lot of channels have a ton of subscribers, and to me that's awesome. Because more and more people are getting the news, becoming stackers, and I almost feel like when we walk around, we're like out of the Matrix, right? We're Neo and his crew in that ship. We know what's going on. A lot of people don't. And I say all the time for people, like, every time you smash a like button, ladies and gentlemen, and we're only 58 likes from 400, I know we could do that. Every time you share a video, every time you retweet a post from your favorite creator about gold and silver, you're literally like the gold and silver Paul Revere riding the streets of the internet saying the big bankers are coming and what their plan is. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, my first step into gold and silver community was seeing a random video on YouTube. What do you think about that sentiment, Ron? I see you brought out a gong.
That's the golden gong, and if it's okay with you, because I'm on your show, I bring that for good luck when we get 400 thumbs up, if you're okay with that.
Whoa. Guys, only 48 more thumbs up, and he's going to hit the gong.
It's the good luck.
The next 48.
It's the good luck golden gong from Shanghai. So yeah, it'll bring us good luck within the gold and silver price. What you were
and Shanghai's about to open in just 4 minutes. So guys, can we get that gong before Shanghai opens?
It's the
That'd
good
be
luck.
amazing.
Brings us good luck. What were you asking me about this? Like the overall sentiment out there in the sector?
I don't even remember. I was talking about being the gold and silver Paul Revere unplugged.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. Actually, I'm supposed to get, I think, a Paul Revere silver round today from First Mint. I sometimes refer to us as the Navy SEALs of the investment world, or like the Secret Service, right? Like we have an understanding that most people don't have. Like it's an elite, like silver and gold investors really are on a worldwide basis, like part of a very small elite group. But the exciting thing about that, International Stacker, that I get so pumped up about, I'm sure you've heard this and your viewers, but it's worth repeating. Like if we're only 1.5% of the world population that invests in precious metals, the good thing about that is that it's a lot easier for 1.5% to double, triple, or quadruple, right? I mean, if we go to 5%, you know what I'm saying? And like, as opposed to if we were already 30% of the world population, well, it's a lot more difficult to double 30% in that money coming in, right? I mean, like right now we're spoiled. You can go, you and I could buy right now with our phones a bunch of silver and gold in 5 minutes. But if just a little bit of those people join us, and we've experienced that, I've experienced it, I'm sure you have too, during our stacking career, like there's no silver. These online dealers have 5-week waits, whatever the case may be. So we are the Paul Reveres. I agree with you.
And you know what? I do mention from time to time. Oh, well, I was just going to make a point on top of your point, and I forgot it. Okay, let's go to a question.
That's why I try to write things down, because
man, it was. It will come to my mind. But dropping the mic in chat says, I see the Fed holding rates until October. Then talks about raising rates will start. Possible cut in November, December 2026 to keep the U.S. Steaming forward. That is the thoughts from dropping the mic in chat. Also, too, a couple other things here I wanted to mention in chat. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got 1 minute and 45 seconds until the Shanghai Futures Exchange opens. And remember, if we get to we got to 400 likes. We're 420 likes. Hit it, Ron.
All right, here, this is the good luck. I can get it on. This is the good luck golden gong, and I like how it resonates. I'll gong it 4 times quickly.
There you go. That's the good luck. And Shanghai's opening up in just 1 minute and 15 seconds. I'll go to that chart quickly in a second here. But Andrew in chat's asking you how much silver you own, like a rough ballpark figure. Do you feel comfortable sharing that with strangers on the internet?
Yeah, I don't keep it at home, but I've accumulated silver over the, like I said, it's 15, 20 years. And I think I saw a stat the other day. I'm definitely in the top 1% of silver stackers in the world. So yeah, and I think a lot of your audience also is probably, and I know my audience is also definitely within that arena. I also love to invest in the mining stocks. That's another. I've always loved.
Well, someone's asking you a question right now, Ron. They're saying, "What gold miners do you have?"
Oh boy, there's a lot of them. First Mining Gold is a company that sponsors me that I made videos about way before they sponsored me. It was actually some of my very early first YouTube videos. They're not an active miner. They're what's called a developer, which means they've got all the gold in the ground. They're in the process of getting permits, all that great stuff. Right. They've got 2 big projects, multi-million ounce projects in Canada. Lately, I have so many silver miners.
Really quick, Ron, really quick. Shanghai just opened and your gong worked. We have a gap up in Shanghai. We just gapped up from $63.45 to $65, and it's going higher on a BGC, a big green candle.
All right. Yep. Awesome. That is awesome. You want me to share just a few of the companies that I'm positive
just rattle
on?
off a few. And guys, remember, we're not financial advisors. These can
we're
all
not.
go to zero.
It can all go to zero. Stocks are risky, all that. Silver Mountain Resources, Kootenai Silver. I own some Silver 47. I'll stop naming names. BlackRock Silver is another one that I own. First Majestic Silver. What's exciting for me with the silver, some of these silver mining stocks is that, or the developers, is that you can buy the equivalent, like the silver's in the ground. It still has, the mine still has to be built. There's a lot of risk involved, but you can buy silver in the ground for some of these companies for the equivalent of like 50 cents or $1 per ounce. So
it is crazy.
Yeah. And let me, can I say one quick thing about that as well? There's not many of them out there, and that bodes very well for the future of the silver price, because over the last 50 years, the silver price has been artificially kept low. Because of that, there's been very little money invested into exploring or building new silver mines. So as we look out into like the next, let's say 10, 15 years, as the demand for silver continues to explode, there's not a big pipeline of new silver projects to fulfill that demand. So it's an exciting factor to consider, even for the silver, just the metal price as well.
And that's something I hit all the time, is like we hit peak mining for silver in 2016. Yep. Every year it's gone down between 1% and 3% because of old mines, decreasing grades, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it takes anywhere from 10 to 15 years for a new mine. And remember, only about 18% of the world's silver comes from direct silver mines. The majority of it is a byproduct from copper mines, gold mines. And I did want to shout out real quick Brian McQuillan in chat. Gave Soup. Brian McQuillan gifted 5 international stacker memberships. It went to Potato Smuggler. Wow. How do you... I do not want to know how you smuggle those potatoes. It goes to V-Tout. It goes to 69 Technique, dear Lord. It goes to Ton Tavern. And it goes to Zilver. Congratulations. Say thank you to Brian McQuillan. Check out your new custom channel member emojis. And someone else is asking, okay, a lot of people keep talking about unicorn fart dust. Can you just give a 30-second, guys? So, can you give them just a 30-second thing on what that was, what it was, how you don't own it, and all that stuff? Yeah. So unicorn fart dust is a cryptocurrency meme coin. In December of 2025, I created it as an experiment because I was not a crypto fan over the 5 years I was on YouTube. So it was an experiment that I created this crypto meme coin called Unicorn Fart Dust. It exploded in value. At one point, it hit $400 million in market cap. And it all happened because of community, because people kind of like the silver community, right? Like people all over the world believed in this project. And because there were so many, let's say, scams in the world of crypto, I was and have been very transparent and honest about it from the very get-go. And that resonated with people. And it's been a 100% community-built crypto project. And I think yesterday I looked, it was the 800th largest crypto in the world. And there's a lot of silver stackers that have bought into it. So yeah, they made I have a unicorn car. They sent me to Las Vegas, to Paris. The important thing here is you weren't holding any of it, right?
I do.
Sell it in rug pull?
No, I didn't. I created it, so I owned some at the very, and I still own, right? I think I own less than 1% of all the coins out there. But yeah, it's way different than most cryptos where the developer owns, 10 or 20%, and then they sell it. On the second day, I said, "Hey, I'm not going to sell what I own, guys," and I haven't sold any of it. And it's just a community of people all over the world, right, that are really awesome, good people that believe that by just being, doing the right thing, being honest, being focused on integrity, that the project can do well, and it has done well. But it's not
so funny.
It's not because it's pretty. You can look it up on X $.
So this was an experiment. You never intended for it to go so crazy. You're just having fun, right?
No, it was okay. Look, on December 15th of 2000, it was right after I think Trump had been elected, I became a little less. I became a little more like less against crypto because I kind of thought that, well, this is here to stay. No, I had no plan. My wife sent me an article about how you could start a crypto for $50. I just did it as an experiment. I'd never owned crypto in my life. I had to watch a YouTube video and they said, you're going to need your wallet, which I thought meant my Boomer leather wallet. So I went upstairs and got my wallet, not realizing I had to open a crypto wallet. I'd never owned a crypto. It's the only crypto that I've ever bought. The reason the community won me over from the very beginning. And, I think that there can be sometimes some contention between the precious metals and crypto worlds. I get it, right? I was part of that. But as I learned about some of the original ethos of crypto, and this project it's very simple, very easy to understand, and it's been built by the community. It's just shown that and so it's been a wild. I mean,
that's so funny. You do something as an experiment and kind of a joke. I could see myself doing that, and then you're like, "Whoa, this thing's worth $400 million."
$40 million, and I didn't rug pull. I could have sold, right? And people ask me, "Why didn't you?" Because I had a crypto. It's worth about 15 or 10 or 15 million right now, but International Stacker. I created it for $50, and then 36 hours later, I was standing on my screened-in porch looking at my phone at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had $1.4 million worth of this crypto in my wallet. And people ask, people are like, why didn't you sell? Why didn't you sell? And I'm like, well, because to me, it was kind of like if I'm walking down the street and I find a wallet laying on the ground, somebody dropped their wallet and there's $1.4 million in it. I can either give the wallet back or I can keep it. I would like to think that I would give it back, but this wallet that I found with $1.4 million, there's 35,000 people that own this. Like that's 35,000 people's money in that wallet. And to me, the money, the community, it was not, it's a pretty incredible situation. Let me tell you this. I don't know if you can see this, but behind me, there's a crock pot in my background. My plan, I love silver and gold, and I make content pretty much every day. But my plan, because I wanted to just do something fun and, add a little spice for 2025, right before the Unicorn Fart Test, my strategic plan for 2025 was to make a different channel where once a week I would make a crock pot cooking video because I love to cook stuff in crock pots. So that was my strategic plan. There was the whole UFD thing happened. I don't know, as a little miracle or however you want to say it, but it happened, and the people are great, and so it's an honor for me to get to deal with do that and also do the precious metals work.
Now, some people are asking for you to make the sheeple sound. Can you make that?
So I like to talk about the other 98% of people. They are the sheeple, and when they wake up, the herd, the people that don't realize what's going on with inflation and everything else. We're going to have a tidal wave of new people coming into the precious metal sector, International Stacker, and it's going to be like trying to drain Niagara Falls through a garden hose.
Now, Keith Peavyhouse, thank you so much for the super chat saying, I like Ron. He should be here more often. Better than that IS guy. What in the world? No, he's just playing. Keith Peavyhouse is a great channel member. Shout out Silver Fox, Real Bill, and Chris for all gifting jewels. I really do appreciate that. I think we got a few more questions here in chat. Hold up. So I have a currency here in chat. Oh, wow. People are sending a lot of jewels. Thank you so much, guys. Container. Yeah. Silver Fox. Drano chasing that MILF. Raven. Thank you, Aldell. Thank you, Barcode Droid. I have a currency here in chat that's called Claws, and it's just here in chat through Streamlabs, but people are like, you need to make a crypto. I'm not going to. Guys, I have too many things to manage. I can't manage a cryptocurrency right now. But Blue Shadow Stacker, he's actually watching from overseas. I believe he's in Belgium, and he says, seems like Ron's gone since silver to the moon. Ron, silver now in Shanghai has dramatically increased. 2.08% since you hit that gong. Can you hit it a few more times? Can we get up higher here?
Yeah, I can do that in a few minutes if you like. Absolutely. Yep. You wanted me to do it right
Guys,
now?
we're going to hit the gong.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I need to find. Here it is right here. All right.
We're going to hit the gong.
It's the good luck gong from Shanghai. That'll be our tradition. That'll be our tradition, International Stacker.
There you go.
When
Now,
I'm lucky
PB
enough-
House just get to another 5 memberships to Thomas, to Let's Talk, to Devil Dog, to Bob, and Brian. Congratulations. Check out your new custom channel member emoji. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an interesting day. Again, don't get too excited. We do have options expiry today, and that traditionally is a fairly aggressive negative day for gold and silver when they're trying to slam down the price as much as they can before that expiry. Usually in the past, I've seen after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it kind of picked back up, but we're seeing a pretty dramatic increase here. Something must have happened this morning, Ron. I'm seeing an increase in gold. We're up 0.7%.
What?
Since this, in silver, we're up 2.19% on the COMEX. And then in Shanghai, we're up 1.94%. And the gold to silver ratio is down to 68.63.
Wow. It's the power of the claws. I'm telling you, right?
It's the claws. It's the claws. Okay. Do you have any last statements for anybody here? Do you want to close us out? Where can people find you, Ron? What do you do on your channel? And what's your advice for people that are brand new stackers? That it seems very scary right now for people that are brand new.
Yeah, for brand new stackers, what I've always said is, and it's kind of what I did by accident, is if you're going to buy silver, be careful with going all in. I think sometimes people that are new to silver will get so excited about it that they'll just make like one massive purchase, and that can work out, right? That could be, it can work in your favor, but it can also, if the price goes down, somebody went full port into silver when it was at $100 back in January. Obviously they felt some pain. Dollar cost average, it does. That's why they're called stackers, or why we call ourselves stackers. It does stack up over time. Buy a certain amount every week, every month, every quarter, whatever you think is best. That would be, I think it's worked out well. And I think over time, as like we talked about, as we see the dollar go down in value and the price of silver continuing to go up, that'll work in people's favor. I think that the setup that we have right now for the next decade is like nothing that we've had, at least during my lifetime, when it comes to the potential for silver and gold. Geopolitically, right? What's going on in the world, China, India, Russia, just the world geopolitically is set up for higher prices. Fiscally, the world is, in debt, not just the United States, but the whole world. And the only way these debts can be paid back are with currencies that are worth less. And when it comes to silver, right, just the pure fundamentals for silver that I know your audience knows about, the supply-demand dynamics. I think those three things for gold, but in particular for silver, make for a very, very bright future. And thank you for having me on. This was great. I really appreciate it. I love your channel. I love your community. And, us stackers, we stick together.
Well, thank you so much. And guys, I got his channel up on screen right now. I pinned his channel in the chat. So if you want to become a basement dweller and a crustacean, check him out. It is pinned. Ron, thank you so much for coming on. We got to do this again. Maybe next time I can come visit you in the basement. What do you think about that?
That would be awesome. You are always welcome here in the basement, right? There's some great people out there. I know you had one on recently, Bald Guy Money, right? There's just some really good people in the silver and gold community, and you never know, right? It would be really a big honor to have the live crab claws down here in the basement, no doubt.
Now, am I going to make it out of there with both of my kidneys, or are you going to extract one to sell for more silver?
Yeah, you got to be just be careful. I may serve you some Mrs. International Stacker coffee, so you'll be okay.
There we go. Well, thank you so much, Ron.
All right.
Give everyone a wave, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
that is Ron.
I'm going to give him crab claws. All right. See you, International Stacker. Thank you.
Catch you on the next one, Ron. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ron. from Ron's Basement on We Had a Fun Time. Did you guys enjoy that? Let me know. Remember, this Sunday evening, we're going to have Jake, the CEO of Hero Bullion, on the channel as well. We're going to have a good time there. And then middle of July, we're going to have Lynette Zhang on. So I've got some fun guests coming up. I did see Reckless Metals is in the chat. He broke 1,800 subscribers. That is mega. For everyone in chat who got a Rolo, you should be getting those shipping notifications. Boy, oh boy. It is going to be great. Guys, that was great with Ron. Ron's a fun guy. I had a great time with him. And we'll have him on again. And I might meet him in person. Because, again, he doesn't live far from Springfield, Illinois, and I'm going to be there. When am I going to be there? I'm going to be in Springfield. The meet and greet's July 18th, but I'm going to be there the 15th to the 20th. Let's look real quick what you guys are saying on X, formerly known as Twitter. A Tony Phoenix says, yes, but I used your instead of your. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, A Tony Phoenix. Porridge here saying, silver went up $1.75 since Ron came on. Need to do it every day. There you go, Aaron. The signs are everywhere. You wouldn't sell something too cheap just before a revaluation, would you? So a lot of people are saying that they think a revaluation is coming because the U.S. Mint is selling for these prices. I do think eventually a gold reevaluation is coming. I don't think it's coming for silver. I don't think the price war is going to be set at 1,500. I could be wrong. But I asked this tongue-in-cheek when I first posted it. But I don't think it's I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll be dancing with you in the streets when gold's 20K and silver's 1,500. But I don't think that's going to be happening July 4th. I know a lot of people think that. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I'm being a little bit conservative on that one. The 1921 Ultra Relief Peace Dollar, Art Sells is talking about. Okay, look at this. International Stacker, does this look like high pressure for you for next month's delivery from Cam? COMEX Stress Index, potential delivery versus registered. Okay, cool. Variable Stacker saying, Charlie, don't stack. We got Jim saying, I like it. We got Variable saying, hey, ISA, Tony Phoenix, had a better way. Yesterday it said mega. There you go. Shotgun Susie, thank you for putting out the stream. Look at this. From Gary, AG, International Stacker, I couldn't resist. Look, he got this silver vintage crab. That thing is mega. Wow. Next exit saying, whatever happened to Nicolas Maduro? Is he in a concentration camp? He's in prison. Next exit, he is in prison. Derek here saying, why all roads lead to crab? There you go, Derek. Variable, thank you for putting out the stream. Will says, mail call, BYB 2026 TSF bar arrived with the new display. Wow. Oh, he collects those silver form bars. I have one of those silver form bars somewhere over there, and in my hold up, let's find it. Let's find the silver form bar. Hold up, 1 second here. It'll take me 10 seconds. It's right around here. It's right around here. Okay, I can't find it. It's impossible. I can't find it. But remember, there is still the bounty for anyone that gets Rick Soup, and we had some people try this morning. But boy, has this been a crazy stream. It's been a fun one. Thank you so much, everybody. Guys, I'm not going to be able to stay on to the stock market open. I've got to run and get some things ready this morning. I got an appointment. Not a crazy one, just a normal appointment. But we're going to do a quick crab rate at the end of this. I am going to be live. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be live at probably 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening. So you're not going to want to miss that, especially after today. And is today Friday? No, today's Thursday. It's okay. So I think today is going to be a very interesting day with all the watch out situations and stuff I was talking about. So you're not going to want to miss that. So please smash a like button. Please make sure you're subscribed. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens with silver and gold today. And thank you for everyone who gifted the super chats and memberships and all that. I really do appreciate y'all. It's viewers like you that help me do what I do. So thank you so much. Everybody, I will see you this evening. Channel members, you know what emojis to drop. Highland Stacker, check your spam filter, Highland Stacker. You can email me, internationalstacker@gmail.com, but check your spam filter. And I guess I'll say CYOTNO. Catch you on the next one. Thank you so much.
Home in the moon, your vault feels thin. We came for the shine.
I am never going to financially recover from this.